The moon was never meant to be lived on. No air, no protection, no mercy. Yet right now, a city is being planned there. China isn't preparing a visit, it's preparing a future. Stay with me till the end, because what's coming next will either amaze you or completely shock you. China is constructing a lunar base. At this very moment, efforts are actively progressing to establish the first permanent human settlement on the moon. The project starts with robotics, and we have already witnessed numerous Chinese robotic missions successfully operating on the lunar surface. However, this marks only the initial stage of a far more expansive vision, one that envisions human beings not merely visiting, but living and working on the moon, both on its surface and within its subterranean depths. Of course, significant challenges stand in the way. The moon is an exceptionally difficult environment for any activity. Achieving a safe landing there remains a formidable technical hurdle. The most daunting obstacles are inherent to the moon's natural conditions. Primarily, it lacks an atmosphere. This means there is no breathable air, but it also means there is no protective layer to moderate solar energy. When the sun shines, lunar temperatures soar to over 120 degrees Celsius. When the sun sets, they plunge below negative 130 degrees Celsius. Because the moon rotates at a much slower rate than Earth, this results in an extreme cycle, approximately 14 Earth days of continuous sunlight, followed by 14 Earth days of uninterrupted darkness. Furthermore, the moon presents hazards that are foreign to our terrestrial experience, such as intense cosmic radiation. This is the consequence of venturing beyond Earth's protective magnetosphere. Our planet's magnetic field, generated by its molten metallic core, deflects this harmful radiation. The moon possesses no such global magnetic shield. Consequently, its surface is relentlessly bombarded by solar and cosmic rays, necessitating a highly effective barrier for any long-term habitat, a task for which a simple metal wall is profoundly inadequate. Then, there is the threat of meteoroids. A glance at the moon reveals a landscape scarred with craters. These were created by impacts, a process that continues to this day. The moon is regularly struck by space debris. Earth experiences this too, but our atmosphere incinerates most objects before they reach the ground. The moon, having no atmosphere, offers no such protection. Sustaining life in such a setting is, therefore, an immense challenge. While American astronauts resided on the moon decades ago, their stays were brief, lasting only a few days. The objective for the 21st century is fundamentally different: sustained habitation leading to a permanent presence. China has already begun practical experiments toward this goal. For instance, the Chang'e 4 lander in 2019 carried a sealed lunar micro-ecosystem. This container held seeds for plants like cotton and potato, along with fruit fly, eggs, and yeast. The aim was to sustain them with air, water, and nutrients, observing how they cope with the moon's low gravity and high radiation. Initially, the experiment showed promise. Cotton seeds sprouted, becoming the first biological growth on the moon. Yet, this new life was fleeting. Chinese scientists reported that drastic temperature shifts killed all specimens within days. This starkly demonstrates the moon's profound inhospitality. It is precisely why China is heavily investing in robotic precursors to prepare the way for human arrival. We can view this as a three-phase strategy for China's lunar ambitions. Phase 1 is reconnaissance and exploration. Phase 2 is autonomous construction. Phase 3 is human habitation. We are currently in the latter stages of Phase 1, which is the primary focus of the Chang'e lander missions. The second phase is construction. How do you build a base on the moon? The most straightforward idea, building it on Earth and launching it, is theoretically simple but immensely difficult, risky, and resource-intensive. The preferred alternative is to use local materials, a concept called in situ resource utilization, ISRU, which is China's current focus. The planned Chang'e 8 mission, targeting a 2028 launch, will carry an experiment to fabricate bricks from lunar soil. The process would involve autonomous robots collecting regolith and packing it into molds. These molds would then be centered in a high-temperature oven, producing bricks of various shapes. Another set of robots would stack these bricks using a binding agent to create low structures, roads, and landing pads. These thick blocks would offer excellent protection from radiation and meteoroids, while also providing crucial thermal insulation. However, a brick structure has a key weakness. It is not ideal for containing a pressurized atmosphere. In a vacuum, habitats need to be strong, pressure-tight vessels. Rectangular shapes with hard corners are inherently weak under pressure. Consider how propane tanks and submarines are always rounded. A brick shell would likely require a separate pressurized vessel inside it. Therefore, China is also developing a more advanced concept, a 3D printed habitat called the moon pot. This design eliminates bricklaying, but introduces new complexities, as lunar soil must be mixed with a binding agent brought from Earth. The advantage lies in the design. Robots would first lay a foundation slab. Then, a printer would extrude a mixture of processed soil and binder in a continuous, circular pattern, building up an egg-shaped structure. This form mimics the natural strength of an eggshell. Multi-layered walls with internal ribs would create a strong, self-supporting, and pressurizable living space without an inner liner. This method also facilitates taller structures, which are practical in the moon's low-gravity, calm environment. These ambitious plans hinge on solving a critical problem: energy. A moon base requires constant, substantial power for construction and life support. Solar power is useless during the long lunar night. Consequently, China, in partnership with Russia, aims to deploy a nuclear fission power plant on the lunar surface. While Russia's recent lunar landing attempt failed, its state nuclear corporation, Rosatom, is a global leader in reactor technology. A lunar nuclear plant is plausible. Placed in a permanently shadowed crater, it would have access to constant, extreme cold for cooling. The issue of nuclear waste is also less consequential on a world already saturated with cosmic radiation. Looking beyond initial surface outposts, China's ultimate ambition may lie underground. The moon likely contains vast lava tubes, natural tunnels formed by ancient volcanic activity. These caverns, visible where their roofs have collapsed, offer near-perfect ready-made habitats. They provide natural shielding from radiation and meteoroids and stable thermal conditions. The Chang'e 7 mission in 2026 will be equipped with ground-penetrating radar specifically to scout for these subsurface structures at the lunar South Pole. So, what is the roadmap? China intends to begin autonomous robotic construction of its base, targeting the resource-rich South Pole. A series of 5 major missions between 2031 and 2035 is planned to deploy successive components: a command center, research labs, resource processing units, and scientific observatories, all before human crews arrive. The goal is not short-term stays, but a sustained, expanding presence. Of course, China is not alone in this endeavor. The United States, through its Artemis program, has its own plans for a sustained lunar presence. The coming years will therefore see not just exploration, but competition for lunar resources and strategic positions, a topic we will explore next.